I'm also an alumni of Start Your Marriage Right Academy. So tonight, we'll be having a wonderful presentation talking about mastering the art and science of premarital coaching. So before I go on, I want to ask that we drop our location in the chat box. So where are you joining in from? Can you drop your location in the chat box? Let's know where you are joining in from. Wow, London. Somebody said London. Beatrice from Ibadan. Sonia from Malawi. Thank you for joining in. Eva, okay. Folashade from Abuja. Wow. Oladunjoye from Amos from Zambia. Thank you. It's a pleasure having you on this program. Wow, someone is joining from Johannesburg. Joe from Ogun State. Atinoke from Ogun State. Awesome. Prince, okay, from Malawi, Ghana. Wow. This is amazing. Okay, Mark from Malawi. Good, 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 good. It's a pleasure having you all on this presentation. So, I believe that the people on this, okay, Pastor Norman from South Africa, wow. Thank you for joining. So, there is an art and science of doing premarital coaching. And a lot of times, a lot of us, before we got married, we went through premarital coaching. And honestly, considering what we know now, we know that a lot of them were not really impactful or did not really prepare us the way we ought to be prepared. So a lot of trial and error really took place. With what I know now, compared to the kind of premarital coaching I encountered, I know that the difference is clear. And I know that those coaches, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yes, we can. Somebody put in the chat box that I was muted. That's why I was asking. So, like I was saying, we were not. It was not so impactful, and we won't blame those people that coached or counseled us then. They gave us the best they had then. But if you look at the amount of marital challenges here and there, the rate of divorce, the kind of pains people go through because they got married, you would agree with me that this program is timely, is necessary in order to save homes, to save marriages, to prepare people appropriately. And times are changing. Times are changing. Now, somebody who has been a marriage counselor, if that person does not upgrade or improve his or her knowledge to be able to accommodate or speak and connect with people of this generation, it may become difficult in order to help them, to prepare them, properly for effective premarital coaching, you need to have this blueprint being offered by Start Your Marriage Right Academy. This blueprint helps you as the person who wants to help others to first of all receive that help, because you cannot give what you don't have. So this blueprint that we are going to be talking about in this program is a life-saving framework, is a life-saving blueprint. First of all, it's a gift you give to yourself as the coach. So I'm also an alumni of this course, and I tell you that I went into the course with the aim of helping people, saving, people who wanted to go into marriage. But I realized that when I started the course, I felt that no, this course is primarily for me. So so for everybody who is coming on board or who has done this course, you realize that you are the primary beneficiary, because there is a way you can be carrying pains or trauma or an experience, whether negative or positive. If care is not taken, as a marriage coach or counselor, you might be projecting your pain, your experience on your client. So first of all, you need to save yourself before you think of saving others. And that's what this blueprint is going to do for you. So it's a gift that you give yourself personally. Then you can go on to help couples to prepare adequately. And I can tell you, when you go through or adopt and deploy this blueprint, it means that everybody that goes through your coaching program for marriage preparation is, there's a guarantee that they are going to have a successful marriage. And I don't want to talk much. At this juncture, I would like to bring on board the Queen of Happiness. She is an amazing coach. She's the lead coach and founder of Start Your Marriage Right Academy, with our backbone, the King of Happiness, who is our father in the academy. Let me say, he's an expert when it comes to deployment of systems. So when you now have an amazing madam, beautiful, awesome coach with a backing of a supportive husband, you don't understand. You may not understand, but you get to understand when you join this program, join this academy, and see what God is using this amazing couple to do in the lives of married couple, in the lives of we coaches. You see the way they pour their heart out when they are teaching people. It's as if they want to open your mind, your brain, to pour in everything they have ever learned. They don't hold anything back. And this blueprint was the best gift I gave myself last year. So permit me to bring on board Dimma Nwobi, the Queen of Happiness and Human Flourishing. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kafilat. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction, and thank you for all the work you do to ensure that couples build strong foundations for their marriages. All right, everyone, it's afternoon where I am at. So I welcome all of us to today's conversation. This is day one of the Mastering the Art and Science of Premarital Coaching. And I'm glad that we have people from across the globe who have joined in. So let's get the ball rolling. What are we talking about? What is the act? What is the science of premarital coaching, and can it be learned? And like we're saying, that times are changing. Can people also be taught and guided to do marriage right? So I like to have engagement with my audience. So periodically, I'm going to be checking in at each point in time to know what is resonating with you and how what we're sharing it's impacting you. So it is the Mastering the Act and Science of Premarital Coaching is a 2-day engagement, all right? And I'm seeing that some people have been attempting to record the session. I just want you to relax and enjoy it. This session will be on our Start Your Marriage Right Academy YouTube channel. So even if you missed out something, you can go to that YouTube channel and catch up. But for now, please give me your attention. Within the 2 days that we'll be spending with you, I'm not going to be the only facilitator. The co-founder of the Start Your Marriage Right Academy will also be coming to talk to us about something very essential. So these are the learning outcomes. For me and my team at the Academy, this is what we've come here to hand over to you. First of all, we want to help you identify common errors that premarital counselors make that give them negative publicity, that make people not want to refer people to them, and gives them results that are mediocre, even though they are passionate about what they are doing. The second learning outcome is that we want to help you discover major major mental blocks that could sabotage your premarital coaching. And sometimes these mental blocks are unconscious. You don't even know that you have them. Let's help you open up your eyes so that you can see the mental blocks that has been sabotaging what you have been wanting to do. The third thing is that you're now going to learn, okay, I want to stand out as an exceptional premarital coach. I want people to trust me because we know in this education economy, in this information economy, for people to gravitate towards you and sign up to hire you to be their coach, they have to first of all know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you. Once you are able to attain trust with your client, then you can get their buy-in. But what does it take to become a trusted premarital coach? That's a learning outcome for tonight. And lastly, we're going to also discover tested strategies and a researched blueprint, evidence-based blueprint that delivers effective premarital coaching in this dispensation. So this is the learning outcome that we have for these 2 days. I'm going to pause and then come to the chat room to ask you, why are you here? Maybe you saw the advertisement somewhere and then you're like, oh, I want to know these 2 days that you want to invest with the Start Your Marriage Right Academy, talking about mastering the act and science of premarital coaching. Come to the chat room and tell me, what is your personal expectation? It is the art, not act. So probably pardon the English. Okay, so I see somebody has said that. So I'm waiting. Because if you don't know what your expectations are, then you're welcome. I have told you our expectations, but I'm curious to know what prompted you to click register for this webinar. And joining tonight, what do you want to take away? At the end of this 2 days encounter, what would you want to have learned or what would you want to have received that will make your 2 days investment worth it? My eyes are on the chat room. Nobody is saying anything. Okay, thank you. Kagiso says, I want to learn more about this art and science as I am aspiring. Okay. Fielder says, I would like to grow myself as I'm currently counseling. Fantastic. You are in the right place. Christiana wants to ensure that I'm on the right track. All right. Mastery says, I want to broaden my mind. Receive the skills to help people. I want to start my marriage. Oh, Beatrice, you're here first of all as a recipient and then as an aspiring coach. That's amazing. Okay. Who else? All right. So I see that all of us are here because we want to deepen our knowledge. So let's get into it. So whether you're currently aspiring or you're an existing coach, I want to ask you one particular question as we progress. And by the way, you know that this is brought to you by the Start Your Marriage Right Academy, founded by my darling husband and I, after we have been in the family life space working with couples and families for over 18 years. Now it's 20 years and counting. So my husband has brought his expert with building business systems for over 25 years. And we have been deploying that into the family life space. How do you build systems in the family life space? I myself, prior to starting the Start Your Marriage Right Academy, was working in one of the commercial banks in Nigeria, and then I resigned and voluntarily resigned because we wanted to face squarely the work in educating ourselves and also helping people. So what you're going to be encountering in this blueprint that we're sharing with you is our combined expertise, our combined competence, right? And we put it into creating this new cutting edge blueprints for building flourishing marriages, drawing from all of our academic and professional qualifications, from positive psychology, guidance and counseling, meditation, emotional intelligence assessor, neuro-linguistics programming, and of course, family science and marriage coaching. So this is a thoroughly researched, comprehensive blueprint, and we have been deploying it in our own practice and also training people to use it. And like you heard from Kafilat, it has been amazing testimony. So relax and be sure that you're not going to just be hearing native intelligence. We're going to be sharing research-proven blueprint. So let me ask you a question. What is the biggest challenge that you think that young people face in marriage preparation? What is the biggest challenge, in your own opinion, that young people face in marriage preparation? Okay, someone says lack of communication. Evan says no, I think it's on personal growth and help others. Chijoke said that let me read it. It said not knowing what is ahead, unrealistic expectations of each other, lack of support and guidance, couples struggling to love and respect each other, lack of patience. I'm asking you, in premarital, like young people, they want to get married. What do you think are one of the challenges they face in marriage preparation? Omolara says some are not personally whole, communication and all of that. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the engagement. I see more and more of it coming. I want to summarize this based on the work that we have been doing in the premarital space. I have come to see that if you want to summarize the issues, the challenges that people face in marriage preparation, like somebody say, oh, I want to get married. So what are the challenges they face in picking a spouse, in going ahead with, setting a strong foundation for their marriage? I think number one, young people do not know themselves. When a person does not know who he is not aligned to their true identity, that becomes a big challenge in marriage preparation, because such a person could land in the wrong relationship. The second thing I have seen that young people face in premarital is not recognizing the red flags even in the relationship. So first of all, I said not being disconnected with their true identity. Second is the lack of skills to notice red flags in a relationship. And the third thing is having the audacity to walk away from a toxic relationship. These are the three things I can tell you. All of what you have said is summarized in it. If a person does not know their true identity, they're going to struggle to even know who is right for them. If a person is not skilled to detect red flags and be able to assess if the partner is willing to work on the red flags with them, number three is having the courage to walk away. And unfortunately, even the people preparing people for premarital coaching do not know how to find out if the people that they are working with are aligned to their true identity. The second one, even the people coaching those do not even know how to guide them on how to detect red flags and also how to begin the journey to address the red flags. It's not every relationship where there was a potential red flag that you run away from. But how do you assess if these two individuals are putting in the work to work on those red flags progressively? Many premarital coaches do not have that skill. Then thirdly, they don't even know. Have you not ever been working with somebody and you're seeing the red flags, you're telling the person, and the person is staying there, and you just keep saying, if you marry this person, oh, you will end up in trouble. And then you're wondering, how can this person, educated, not a child anymore, not see that she is digging her own grave by herself? It is because when people are wounded, they lose their voice of authenticity. They lose the courage to speak up for themselves, even when they know that those things are unhealthy for them. When somebody is damaged, even the most toxic person looks like a savior. But it's the tools you have in premarital that would open their eyes, help them heal those wounds, and then really stand out as their true self. So you see, in all of these things that I've said, as the biggest challenges I have seen in premarital, it has nothing to do with the other person. But then we see coaches come to premarital and you're teaching the people, oh, this is how to communicate. A person who has lost his identity cannot communicate. A person who is wounded does not even know how they want to be loved. Talk less of knowing how to love others. So at the base of everything you do in premarital depends on your skill to detect these three challenges and the tools you have to help them to navigate it, even before we begin to talk about relationship building tools. All right? So if that is it, let us move on to what I want us to discuss tonight. So if you have encountered these three things that I have said in your practice, please let me know. If they sound strange to you, let me also know in the current session. So you see, when it comes to premarital, the success of your premarital coaching depends not so much on the client as it is on you as the premarital coach. I'm going to take it again. The success of premarital coaching, which translates to your ability to help the people in premarital know if they are making the right choice or not, and know how to build the right foundation, doesn't have so much to do with the people as it has to do with you. Because a premarital counselor who doesn't understand the dynamics of human motivation will mess up the process. Because we have done polls with people coming on in this same program that you're on, and we're asking, what are the challenges you face? And they say, oh, the people are not open, they are not committed, they don't ask questions, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, how have you been engaging them? Because if you are engaging, remember, and this is critical, the people the people, by the way, we have hit the maximum number in the room. We have 100 people. So if there is somebody from your network who wants to join, please direct them to the YouTube channel. Rayo, please drop the link to the YouTube channel in case they have people who want to join. We are already at a maximum here on Zoom, so please drop it so that people can go and watch in the background.
You are muted.
All right. So yes. So I was saying that in practice, that when you're asking those people, you get that people come into premarital passionate, but it's not enough. Are you aware that just as somebody cannot just say, I'm passionate about activism, I'm passionate about defending people, and then you go on and put yourself out as a lawyer, barrister, or solicitor at law? No, you need to get basic training to do that. And so I know that most people who come into premarital come as passionate, but then if you don't understand the dynamics of human motivation, you're going to mess up the process. And then you feel that the people are not cooperative. You feel that you're not getting your results. As we go ahead, I will be hinting on what it takes to keep an adult motivated through a coaching process. It's also important for you to note that right now, 2025 and ongoing, the majority of the people that you are going to encounter in premarital will be Gen Zs and some millennials. How do you engage a Gen Z in premarital when you don't understand the uniqueness of Gen Z? When you don't understand what drives them, and so how you can weave that into keeping them motivated. All of that we will be talking about as we progress. So let's start off. Common mistakes premarital counselors make. So for the person asking, you want to go tell the person to just type Start Your Marriage Rights Academy on YouTube, and they will see the live stream going on. I was thinking one of the team members was online to just drop it, but I can't seem to locate any of them right now, because at the academy, we have another program for singles running concurrently. So please just tell whoever you want to direct to YouTube to type in Start Your Marriage Rights Academy on YouTube, and you will see the live stream going on concurrently. All right. So what are some of the common mistakes premarital coaches make? I'll run just the major ones with you, and then I'll check in back with you to know if any of them resonate or if you have been guilty of any of these mistakes. Number one is throwing religious and cultural quotes at the intending couples without a structure for implementation. 2 years back at the academy, we ran a survey to look at the effectiveness of premarital coaching in Nigeria. And from that survey, we found out that over 94% of the people who did premarital counseling did it in faith-based organizations. And then that's kudos to our faith-based organization because they fill that gap. They have helped people to build foundations. But then we also realized something, that one of the mistakes these premarital coaches did was throwing religious and cultural quotes at the intending couples and then not giving them a structure for implementation. Oh, the woman is the homemaker. But then how does a woman make a home if the man that is coming on the journey with her, has sworn that the home will not work? Or they tell the man, you are the leader of the home, you are the head of the home. Yet there is nothing embedded in the process to even assess the leadership qualities that this young man has and to guide him on how to turn leadership into a system. And then the very popular one, wives, submit to your husband. But then we come to the nitty-gritty. Are you aware that submission is a five-fold structure? So some of the things is that even when you interview young people who have done premarital in some of these places, and they're saying, we didn't get any framework. We weren't given any framework per se for communication. We weren't given any framework for conflict resolution. We were just told, we were just quoted, oh, don't allow your anger, don't go to bed angry, resolve whatever issues you have. But then we didn't have templates that when the conflict is getting escalated, we have to do this to de-escalate. That's one common mistake. When we throw religious quotes at people, but there is no structure for implementation. You don't even train them on how to measure what it is that you're doing. Or we use cultural quotes. Oh, we're Africans. In Africa, respect is very important. You need to respect your husband. You need to love your wife. But have you ever in premarital asked the person, what does respect mean to you? Because I've had to sit with a couple who one of the spouses kept saying, oh, she doesn't respect me. She doesn't respect me. And I asked him, have you ever discussed with her what respect means to you? And then the man looks at me like strangely, that kind of look like, what do you mean? Everybody knows what respect means. And I'm like, please indulge us. And then when he shared what respect meant to him, I saw the look in the wife's eyes. She was like, and I asked her, have you heard this before? And she said, no. And I'm like, to the man, how do you demand something from a partner who doesn't even know what it means to you? So you get it that even when we are looking at this concept, we should narrow it down to individuals. What does love mean to you? What does respect mean to you? How do you communicate before now? So rather than just throwing religious quotes at them, it is important that we give them a structure for implementation so that they don't leave our premarital more confused. They don't leave our premarital with their notes filled with quotes, yet no system for implementation, for measurement, or for accountability. The second mistake that premarital coaches make that you shouldn't make after tonight is sharing personal experiences without a sieve. I need you to see my face when I'm saying this. Your experiences as a coach, as an individual, is valid, but it's not the ultimate experience. Your pathway to how you have come to be in your marriage, we honor it, but it's not a template that should be taught, because your unique experience is peculiar to you, your upbringing, your identity, your environment, everything that has made you who you are. And so it may not work for the other person. So you won't say, that's why after tonight's encounter with the academy, you shouldn't be found anywhere saying women like this, women do this, men are like this, because there are going to be nuances to individual expressions. But then you see people coming to premarital and they're saying, oh, in my marriage, in the first 5 years, blah, 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 blah was happening. After I did this, my husband now did that. You fail to realize that the people you're talking to are not your husband. The birth order of your husband is absolutely different from that of the man you're counseling. And so their understanding is different. All right? That is why I have advocated repeatedly, especially in our faith-based organization. And please, don't get me wrong, I'm a church girl. In fact, I met my husband in church, and we have been actively involved in premarital coaching in my church since we got married and even till today. All right? So I'm not putting this out against, I belong to church, but I need us to see where we have done it wrong. And you stepping out as a professional, or even from your faith base, you want to do things differently and more effectively, you need to listen to this, because this is based on research and experience. Somebody is not qualified to be in your marriage counseling unit or to offer premarital coaching just based on the length of their marriage. That is not qualification at all. At all. Because I've seen people say, oh, in our marriage unit, we only take people who have been married for 20 years and above. We take people who have been married 25 years and above. What if the people have been miserably married? Are you aware that one of the best pretenders who show forth like all is well are active church members? So they could be going through stuff in their home, and then you're bringing them out to coach others. No, you don't do that, because premarital coaching is it's a professional work. It requires tools and skills. One time, I was sitting and listening to a man taking premarital coaching in somewhere. And then the lady was talking in the premarital that, oh, her boyfriend does not apologize. When he does something, he doesn't apologize and he just finds ways to wriggle out of it. Then the man, the authority who was teaching premarital, begins to say, oh, so when he offends you, what does he do? Does he buy you gifts? And the girl said yes. He said, oh, that's African men. African men don't know how to say sorry. When he buys you gifts, he's trying to apologize. And right there, it was as if I should bring the man's head and scream into his ears, like, what are you saying? And this was in premarital. But of course, I couldn't let that pass, because afterwards I had to go and sit with the man to talk with him. And then I requested to speak to the how will I put it, the leaders of the marriage counseling unit. And I said, what's your minimum qualification? How do people get in here? What template do you train them with? And then I offered that the academy could, we could train their facilitators. And then we started to talk about that, because your personal experience is not premarital coaching blueprint. And it's good enough, because sometimes in practice, you may have to share personal experiences. But let me tell you the catch there. When you notice that probably, okay, you're working with a client and then they're struggling to come up with some self-initiated action steps, you could say something like, would you mind if I share something with you? And then you would share a framework, a system, a practice. You don't necessarily need to say, my husband and I have been doing this. And then you check back with them to say, does this sit with you? Is this something you can adapt? And how do you think you can adapt it to your situation? That's where that comes in. But this is a critical mistake that I have seen premarital coaches make. All right, let's move in to the third. Cambridge submission fivefold structure that will be taught in the blueprint class today. Let's set the atmosphere for what really, the mistakes and all of that. Please join us for day 2 tomorrow and you will get more insights to that, okay? All right, so what's the third mistake that I have seen? We have seen that premarital coaches make. Oh my goodness. Shouldn't this even have been number 1? But it's okay. We didn't rank the mistakes in order of, severity. I just wanted to pinpoint the major ones that we need to stop. The third mistake that premarital coaches make is assuming that the intending couples have shared beliefs without verification. Now, be honest with me. You are here listening to me. You have taken any couple, whether be it one couple, 10 couples, hundreds of couples, through premarital coaching. If you have a system in place to verify if they have shared beliefs, give me a thumbs up. If you don't have a system in place to verify if they have shared beliefs, give me a thumbs down. And it's okay, we're all learning. And if you don't even know what I mean by shared beliefs at all, just come to the chat room and give me a thinking emoji so that I know the people that are here. Thank you, Mabel, for being very vulnerable. Mabel says, okay, oh, Mabel, you're in 2 places. You don't have and you don't understand what it is. So where the rest of us, talk to me. Our time is moving fast. I have a lot I want to share with us. Do you have a system in your premarital for checking for shared beliefs, or you don't have, or you don't even know what it means? Okay, all right. Okay, so let me just a bit so that we can move on. When we talk about beliefs, the fundamental thing that guides a person's mindset about how they do life and do marriage, that's your belief. What you believe about something, your mindset about a thing. And research has continuously shown us that our beliefs influence every decision we make in life. And these beliefs will guide the actions that we take and will produce the result that we have. And they have a very direct relationship, because if I believe that men are scum, and as a woman, I get married to a man, even if I claim that I love the man, the belief that men are scum will guide how I relate with that man, will guide how I open up to that man, will guide how I treat that man, and it will definitely give me the result of a woman married to a scum man. And then I'll be like, I said it, men are scum. So that belief will impact my behavior, will give me the result, and will further cement that belief. When it comes to marriage, what at the basic of 2 people even having the ability to build a strong foundation for their marriage depends on their beliefs. If what Mr. believes about marriage is totally deviant from what Miss believes about marriage, those couple are likely to struggle in their marriage until they align their beliefs. But if they come to premarital to you, they don't know that is their beliefs that is guiding their choices. You, as the premarital coach, must have a system that elicits their beliefs. And if the beliefs are not compatible, help them to see the danger of moving on with these incompatible beliefs and still have a structure in place that can help them to discuss and align the beliefs, because at the root of everything, their actions, their kind of communication, how they resolve conflicts, their intimacy, their expectations, everything that makes marriage work will depend to a very large extent on how compatible and aligned their beliefs are. So no premarital coach should present a couple forward for marriage if you have not even identified their fundamental beliefs, if you have not even checked if the beliefs are compatible, and if you have not helped them to align the beliefs. In the academy, people have called off their engagement because they could not align their very core essential beliefs. I hope you know that as a premarital coach, there are different outcomes that a premarital coaching experience can take that makes it successful. One, the intending couples can, because of your premarital, decide to extend their relationship and work on the things that were pointed out either for them or as a team. And then, before they get married, say, for example, you could be working with a premarital couple and they came in now, their wedding is supposed to be in the next 3 months. Whilst they're working with you, many incompatibilities come up, many things that were not resolved come up. They postpone their wedding and address those issues before going ahead. You are still successful as a premarital coach. Another outcome could be, they now come, you help them build a strong foundation. They are convinced to move on to marriage is still a successful premarital outcome. A third and valid outcome also is that they come to you, they are working with you, these incompatibilities come up, these issues come up. You use your professional tools to help them to align and come to a compatibility. They don't come to compatibility. They realize that they did not even know that these were their issues, and now they can't find a middle ground. They can't come to a compromise. They separate. That is also a successful premarital outcome. And many premarital coaches struggle with accepting this because a broken engagement is better than a failed marriage. What we fail to realize is marriage is not just a place where you have children so that they could have same husband and same wife. Marriage will affect your life completely. Every aspect of what it takes for you to live a fulfilling life is affected by marriage. And a failed engagement is better than a broken marriage, because eventually, even when the marriage breaks and you go ahead to heal and to build new lives, you are still going to go with the collateral damage of the broken marriage. So that is why, if you are a premarital coach, you must realize that you are the most critical part of nation forming, because family is the production center of the society. And if premarital is that basic place where people come to know, can we do marriage together? It means that your work is very critical to what God is doing with humanity. Granted, premarital coaching should start from home, where the children are born with their parents and all of that. But the next stage is what you're doing with them. And if you don't check their beliefs about life and you just go ahead with that, you are causing more damage than good. All right, so let's move on. Excuse me. Okay, so what is another mistake that we have seen? I hope you're directing your network to YouTube. If there's somebody you invited to this engagement or somebody from your counseling unit and they're unable to join here, please tell them to go to Start Your Marriage Right Academy channel on YouTube, where they can watch this. All right. Start If any of my team members are here, you could drop the direct link. If not, just tell them to go to Start Your Marriage Right Academy on YouTube. They can join us as it is streaming live there as well. All right. So what's another error? This one, many of us were guilty. Raya, please drop the direct link to the YouTube live stream for those who want to share with their network to join. Thank you. Many of us are guilty of this. Another common mistake that premarital coaches make is speaking at the participants, speaking at them, not giving them enough experiential practice sessions. Like, come to me if you're here and you're married and you did premarital counseling anywhere. Please share your own thoughts. Did you have enough experiential practice sessions? And I'll explain what I mean. Or were you just sitting and somebody was just talking at you, telling you, advising you, oh, as a woman, you should do this. As a man, you should do this. People should communicate. So communication is the lifeline of relationship. If you don't communicate, the devil will have a room into your marriage. Don't let your anger lead you to sin. If you're angry, don't go to bed. Make sure you reconcile before you go to bed, and on and on and on and on and on. Did you have opportunity where the people say, you know what? When the argument is heated, this is a sequence or a template of the things you should say. And then they sit and watch you and say, okay, think about the last quarrel that you had. How did you handle it? Okay, if you were to handle it this way and say this and say this, how would that pan out? So you give them a scenario, they have a communication or they resolve a conflict, and you make it real because they will pick something that they've quarreled about. Those are experiential experiences, so that they learn templates that guide conflict resolution. I usually say to people that when it comes to conflict resolution, one of the things that work is the couple agreeing when they were at peace on how to handle conflicts. Because when conflict is already present, tempers are high, emotions are wild, somebody can say something, but when the love is shacking them, they're like, oh, if we ever disagree, if the argument is going one way and I say, I can't continue this, that means that I want to take a pause. They agree beforehand, such that when the conflict is there and you bring the code, both of you have taken like, oh, we're going to honor it. All right. But what do we see in mainstream premarital? Counselors are just talking. They don't even give space for the people they are speaking to experience what they are telling them. There are no templates, there are no frameworks, there are no guidebooks, there are no come on. Everyone here agrees that communication is very important for marriage, but were you taught how to express your feelings without making the other person feel insulted, feel criticized, feel abused? And it's not enough to just say, when you want to communicate your feelings, use the I statement. Use the I statement. That is a framework, but that's at the very basic of it. So that's one challenge that also we see in premarital, where we just talk, and we don't hand them over frameworks, and we don't even watch them role play. Okay, you now, the wife to be the man, and he be you. Communicate to him what you hear when he's speaking to you. And let the man even hear from the woman's perspective how he sounds to her. That's an experiential exercise, because sometimes he just thinks it's making sense. But the sense you're making, somebody is receiving it in another way, because the result of your communication is what the other person perceives. But again, you don't learn to do this because you have been married for 20 years. You don't learn to create frameworks because you have been married for 25 years. You learn it because you have been trained on human motivation, on the science of marriage, and you understand how to infuse this even towards the unique differences in the people that you're dealing with. I'm going to share with you the very last mistake I have here, and then we'll stop and we will discuss for some time. One other mistake is that, if there is any field that is filled with passionate people, it is the marriage field. I'm passionate about building godly marriages. I'm passionate about people enjoying marriage. That is an easy entry, but your passion without a structured methodology and systems that you yourself can measure periodically, test for effectiveness, scale upwards, is going to destroy lives much more than helping them build it. And I say this without mincing words. If all you bring to premarital is your passion, I'm sorry, it's not enough. I'm sorry, it's not enough. Posterity is going to hold you accountable for messing up lives if all you have is passion. Because premarital coaching is not a work of passion, it's a professional work. Nobody gets passionate about saving lives and then puts on a surgeon suit and walks into the surgery room to perform a complicated heart surgery on anyone. Nobody does that. No matter how passionate the person is about medicine, no matter how passionate the person is about saving lives. And guess what? Even as someone working in the marriage field, you are as critical as healthcare workers because you're dealing with matters of the heart. So you don't go around brandishing your passion and hurting lives, creating mediocre results when you don't have a structured methodology and a system that is based on tested and continuous testing to maintain effectiveness even in the current dispensation that you're working in. Humphrey says, I'm talking to you. Thank you, Humphrey, for being vulnerable. So right about now, I think I've talked about this a lot. Membership of marriage counseling units based on mere interests and length of marriage is a big mistake that nobody should do. You are not qualified to give marriage coaching because you've been married for 20 years. No. You could be going to a hospital every day for 20 years. Nobody is going to give you a certificate to say, this one has been coming. You have to go through the rigors of training. You have to go through your internship. You have to go through that detailed work because that is what it takes. Okay? So talk to me. Let's do an honest check. I've shared 6 mistakes with you. Which of these mistakes have you been making? Let me see those who are going to be vulnerable today and talk to me. And I'm going to read out the different errors and mistakes I talked about. Number 1 was throwing religious and cultural quotes at the intending couple without a structure for implementation. 2 was sharing personal experiences without a sieve. 3, assuming shared beliefs without verification. Number 4 was speaking at the participants without giving them experiential practice sessions. 5 was passion without a structured methodology and systems. And 6, membership of marriage counseling units based on mere interest and length of marriage. Which one have you been guilty of? Okay. Mabel says sharing personal experiences. 3, assuming shared beliefs and speaking at the intending couple. Thank you, Christina, for being very vulnerable. Absence of systems. 5, 5, 5, 2, 5, 3. Okay. And so if you've made any of those mistakes, it's okay. Some of us have made these mistakes in our growth journey. And so it's first of all, I salute you and celebrate you for owning up to the mistakes you have made. And because you're here, I know that you are also interested in knowing how not to make those mistakes going forward. I will be sharing that with you. All right. So don't worry. You may have made those errors. Now that you're here, hope is here, training is here. You will no longer make those mistakes because you now know them. But what we now need to help you do is, how do you now do it better? Okay? So thank you, everyone who shared. So let's move on to the next thing I said we're discussing, and it is talking about the mental blocks. Cambridge, thank you for also being here. I'm glad you're learning a lot. Stay with me. I still have a lot more to share with you. And if there are members of your team who are trying to join, but because the Zoom room is already filled, please share with them the YouTube channel. They can go to Start Your Marriage Right Academy channel. My team member just dropped the direct link to the live stream. So you could just copy it, share it with them, and they can join us and watch from there. Okay, so let's look at mental blocks that sabotage effective premarital coaching process. And these are mental blocks that you, the coach, may unconsciously have that you don't know. I want to expose you to them tonight, and I'll also be sharing with you how damaging they can be. And then as we progress to day 2, we'll begin to look at how you can take off those mental blocks so that you become more effective. So you're listening to me, you're ready for us to jump into mental blocks. Please come and give me a thumbs up so that I'm revved up. You want to end 2025 different, a more transformative coach, and so you want these roadblocks to be taken away. Also give me a thumbs up so I know that, hey, so Mastery has given me a thumbs up. The rest of you, talk to me. Do we proceed, or do we already have enough for one day? I'm still pumped up to share a lot with you, and I hope that you are here to stay with me as we go on. Fantastic. Okay, so listen to me carefully. I want you to know this number one mental block is very critical to the kind of change work that you can ever possibly do. Remember, when we started, I said that for you to grow your clientele and produce undeniable results, your client has to know you, has to like you, and has to trust you. This mental block is going to sabotage any possibility of the trust that they can build. And that mental block is when you think that the intending couple need fixing. No matter the expertise that you have, you can only be the expert of your methodology. You can only be the expert of your framework. You can't be the expert of your client's life. Your client is the expert of their life. And everything they need for you to support them through effective premarital, they already have it. It's just that they are ignorant of it. So you don't come into premarital feeling like the hero. You don't come into premarital with a chip on your shoulder as the one with the magic wand. Nobody needs fixing. They just need your expertise to attain enlightenment and transformation. And you don't even have to tell your clients that they need fixing. Your physiology speaks that all. The way you talk to them, the way you carry yourself, the way you say the things you're saying already shows whether you feel that they are damaged or whether you feel that there's something wrong with them. And that is the place where they begin to cut off connection with you. That is the place where you begin to lose your ability to help them open up and to truly embrace the process. You are the expert of your premarital methodology, no doubt. That is, if you have a methodology, if you are not winging it, if you are not doing guesswork, if you have a detailed framework that you can submit anywhere and say, when I'm taking premarital, this is what I do for first encounter, this is the objective, this is the whatever. Second encounter, that's what I mean by a premarital methodology, not just the fact that you have been there for years or you are passionate. That doesn't qualify. So when you see people come to you for premarital, you need to first of all know these people are here because they want me to help them reconnect them back to what they already have and to guide them to create the future that they want. That's your work. And if you have the tools to do this work, you've done amazing. Remember, I said to you that in my work, I have seen that what's the biggest challenges people have in premarital is being disconnected with their core identity, not having the skills to detect red flags, and not having the courage to walk away if they need to. How you make your clients feel at home with you is the beginning of you being able to even notice these gaps and helping them. So that's a mental block you must take off. Nobody needs fixing. You are not a god. You might be, people might be raving you. Oh, they talk about the Statue of Marriage Rights Academy that have never seen a premarital blueprint. We get people coming to us, referring people to come and take premarital here. But I just know that I'm not the expert of their life. My team know that. Because the way you speak with people will show if you think that they need fixing. So you want to first of all come down from your high horse. You are not doing any client of yours a favor by working with them. Because if you choose a calling, you're choosing it because it fulfills you. And of course, if you're doing it professionally, you're going to charge them for the value you're giving. But then that doesn't make you their God. And that is one of the things about premarital, the challenges I've seen in premarital, particularly when it comes from faith-based, because most people who do faith-based premarital, like maybe working in their church units and all of that, they offer it free of charge, right? It's a pro bono work. And so they still come with that chip on their shoulder, like, you had better be attentive. I'm just doing this for you. I'm just serving you. If you waste my time, I'll get out of here. They don't say it, but that's what your disposition says. And then sometimes I'm talking to the churches, our faith-based organizations, you need to train your people. And they're like, when we finish training them, they will leave us to go to other churches. But that's the reality. You don't keep mediocre people in your marriage units because you are afraid of losing them after investing in them. You should be thinking about your congregation that they are forming. That's what's more important. So let's move on. Number 2, mental block that you need to discard today is another mental block is that you assume that you know what the couple needs. How do you know what a couple needs if you don't know where the couple is coming from? How do you ever know what an individual knows if you don't know what has happened to that individual from when they were born to the time that you encounter them? Are you aware that some of the things people tell you they need is not really what they need? It is what their traumatized self needs that they feel is the authentic self speaking. So you're doing premarital with a couple. You don't know that people have different beliefs. You don't have a system to elicit their values. You don't even have the basic psychometric tools to evaluate people's life histories. You're going to do a mediocre work at best, because you will be speaking at what they are telling you. You ask them, oh, what's your goal? And they tell you, and you work on that goal, but you don't know that goal is a disjointed goal. You don't know that goal is not their real self talking. When we, in our premarital framework in the academy, when people come in and start premarital, there are processes we take them through, which you will learn tomorrow. Please, if you're here, don't miss tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll go deep into this research framework. We're just setting the background tonight. Then tomorrow, we'll begin to look, what's this framework? Gong, gong, gong. What does it do? What parts is it divided into? What is the goal of each of those parts? So we start them off, but it is only after we have gotten them to a place of wholeness that we revisit, why do you want to get married? Because some of us ask the intending couple, why do you want to get married? Why do you want to get married to her prematurely? When you ask it prematurely, is the pseudo person that is answering you? Is the facade that is speaking? It could be the trauma-informed response you are getting. But imagine if you check in with them then, and after you have taken the individuals through a rebate, that's what I call it. After you have helped them to reconnect back to their core authenticity, you now revisit the question, because only then can the healed person be answering. And that is only when you are getting the real reason. And guess what? Some people call up the engagement or put a hold on it and say, I need to really go back and think if I really am ready to marry, or if I'm really, this is the person for me. Because somebody who has dealt with rejection all their life gets into the dating pool, meets somebody that praises him, makes him feel like the best thing in life. He thinks he's in love with her. No, he's in love with the sense of not feeling rejected. Because that's what that was feeding for him. But he ignores the other signs that are showing, because that person is feeding a wounded part of him that has been craving for recognition. So when you take them through a personal healing process and he comes to realize that really, I have been attracting love interest based on my fear of rejection, then he sits back and says, wait a minute, I want to assess this one to be sure. Did I just choose her because of that fear of rejection? Or I actually chose her because the authentic me wants to go this journey with her. But if you don't have these processes in your premarital, you say, oh, they're in love, they're in love. He could be in love with the false person. But guess what? Marriage would definitely, one time down the line, expose the real person. And you're wondering, how did I get here? Are you aware that some people married today will not be married to the people they are married to if they married from a place of healing? I'm telling you, I work with couples. When they now get enlightened, when they begin their healing journey, they're like, they would never have been married to the people they are married to if they chose their partner from a place of wholeness. So it's your work in premarital to ensure that the people who are getting married actually are choosing from a place of wholeness. And you can't know what they need if you don't have processes that helps you to check their life history, check their love journey, check their relationship journey, and get them to a place of sitting down and critically looking at the real them, eyeball to eyeball, to assess the choices that they are making. We move the conversation. My eye is on the time. Team members, please keep me. I hope I'm not overstaying. All right. Another mental block is that you are stuck in your past methods, even when they are no longer working. It's amazing. Sometimes you're talking to people, oh, you need to upgrade your premarital curriculum. And they're like, oh, our founding fathers created this framework for us since 50 years ago. That's what our founding fathers have been using. Your founding fathers created a framework for premarital for a generation that is no longer getting married. And you feel that there's no need to update it, using outdated methods for 21st century issues will keep frustrating the process. It will frustrate you because you are not able to measure the progress you are making. It will frustrate the people you are. Take a poll on your own. Go and ask the people in your network if they are open to premarital. And they'll say, I beg, I beg, I beg. What are they doing there? I beg, I beg, I beg. Ah, it's ancient and modern. Oh, you just meet old people that cannot even relate with what is it. That's what you keep hearing. Your practice is out of touch, and if it is lacking evolving an innovative approach to modern premarital coaching. So let's imagine you're already running a practice. Between you and your God, how often do you check your framework? Is it once in 5 years? Is it once in 3 years? Or you don't even review it? Do you have a system in place of even eliciting feed forward from the people you have worked with to know their impression, honest impression of this process that you have taken them through? Or are they so afraid of you that they can't even give their honest review? You don't bring out a framework and continue to use it for years and years and years and years, and you don't look for, okay, how do I update? How do I upscale? It's like being in 2025 and insisting I'm going to still use manual typewriter. That's what our ancestors used. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to spend there doing a work that can be done in minutes, in days. Number 4, you project your trauma and experiences on them. How do I say this to you? Your experiences are valid, but they are not the ultimate experience. And if you are not trained to disassociate, if you're not trained that when you step into your counseling, right, you step in as your professional persona, you are no longer Chidima Nwobi, in quotes, the wife of Chinedu Nwobi. Because I've seen people step into premarital, maybe something is coming up, and then the person, one of them, is touching on a sore spot. And you see the person getting agitated, their voices rising. You know it's not really about what the person is saying. What the person is saying is reminding you of something, maybe reminding you of a very aggressive father, maybe reminding you of a boyfriend that acted foolish like him, and then your voice is raised. You don't know it's your trauma you're projecting on the person. So all of us have had our journey of life, know that we have been hurt one way or the other. But when you step in, you have to be able to step aside, disassociate from yourself, and come in as a professional, a neutral party. Right? Somebody was referred to us one time, and then she had resisted to be in premarital. I have stories to share, but I hope time will permit. If not, we'll talk more of it towards the end. I want to finish what I have. And I'm like, oh, what's your expectation in this session? I don't know. I don't have anything. I know that's a typical response, so I understand it. So I still set the objective, we still talk about, and then as I continue, at the end, I check in with them. Oh, when we started, you were like I don't know, I don't have any expectation. Where are you at right now? And the lady says to me, for the first time, I'm really interested in working with a professional. And I'm like, why? She said, because this is our second chance at professional counseling. Other times we've tried to use elders in our faith base and all of that. But my first encounter with professionals made me say, I'm not doing this. All of them are the same. And she said, when we came there, I was blamed for everything. The lady kept saying, "You are the woman of the home. You should make your homework. You know, men are not relational based. Is you do the," and she was like, and they didn't show up for the second session. But as we were talking, she was like, "This is the first time I feel somebody heard me without filters, without judging me." The other woman was doing the best she knew with what she had. Some other people are maybe dealing with a man who has been unfaithful, and then they are working with a couple and infidelity comes in. They attack the man as if the man was their husband that cheated on them. No, it's not your husband. So that just tells you that you are still sore from it. So what am I saying? You don't project your trauma and experiences on your clients. What you're there is to help them move forward and get solutions, even if it mimics whatever you've ever faced in your life. And this is another mental block. Oh, you just do the practice half-heartedly because it's not paying the bills. So why do you invest time and money to improve skills? They're going to say if you're going to do training, you will pay this much, you will do this much, especially those that even offer it in premarital. But guess what? Once you stop learning, your potential to wreck lives increases. And many of you may have been in premarital, doing it pro bono, doing it as passion, but I can tell you there is a system for building a profitable premarital coaching. We will talk about that tomorrow. And honestly, if you are offering premarital and you feel that I don't want to invest my time and my money in developing myself because I don't know, oh, will it work? Will it not work? Your fears are valid. And I'm being like a sister to another brother. If you are not ready to invest time to develop yourself, please quit premarital coaching. There are many other things you can do with your time. Don't destroy lives just because you want to remain non-improving. Honestly, I'm almost sounding religious, but it's like God will judge you for the work you're going to do with those children if you do a half-hearted job simply because you feel, I don't have the time. If you don't have the time to develop yourself, then leave the crowd, leave the place for people who want to give their best. Because nobody continues to give good results by being stuck in 1960, by being stuck in 19... No. So that's what mental block. And I know it could be founded in genuine fear. I've spent so much in training myself. I spent so much and then it's not paying the bills. I'm not making the money. You can actually build a thriving marriage coaching business if you know how. Start your Marriage Right Academy is what I wake up to do every day in the past how many years of my life. It's just that you are ignorant of what it takes to build one. And so what you need is a community that will teach you the way. And that's what the academy will do for you. Okay, so stop giving mediocre work just because it's costing you something to train yourself. Do it right so that you can monetize right. All right, so that is it for the mental blocks. Do I have another, or it's time for us to assess ourselves? Okay, like I did the other time, come to the chat room and tell me your honest assessment of yourself. Which of these mental blocks do you think has been sabotaging you? And be honest with me. Which of these do you think has been sabotaging your practice? So that is time for us to pause and reflect. And I'll just remind you of the different mental blocks. Number one is you thinking the intending couple need fixing, or you assume that you know what the couples need, or you are stuck in your old methodologies that are no longer working, 4 is you project your trauma and experiences on them. And 5 is that you just do the practice half-heartedly because it's not paying the bills. So why invest your time and money in it? Talk to me, which of this is the where you feel stuck right now? Christiana, stuck in old methodology. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I have a very, I love this set of people today. And I'm really glad that you find me an accepting environment to share your vulnerabilities. You know, we see Africans struggling to speak up where they are struggling. But for this today's class, I've seen men and women who have embraced vulnerability, who are saying, oh, this is where I think, this is where I think, oh, I'm getting some right, but this, and I salute you for that. I want to celebrate you. So if you're here, you've either shared in the first time or the second time where your struggles are, please just come with me on this group hug. I just want you to, if you are able to, you're not driving, please don't do this if you're driving. If you're not driving, I want you to just raise your hand up. And then, so I'm going to pause this spotlight. I just feel like doing a little group thing. If you can, if you may, turn on your video. I want us to support ourselves. It might look like silly, but it's a ritual that works. Because I know that human beings, we're all vibrations, and rhythm is very important. So I just want you, no matter where you are at in your journey, the errors you have made, the mental blocks, if you can turn on your video, spread out your hand and just give yourself a warm hug. And when you're hugging yourself, just thank yourself. Say, call yourself by your name. Oh, I'm seeing Adejoke. Say to yourself, Adejoke, you may have made some mistakes, but it's okay. You're exactly where you need to be. And I know that going forward is going to be growth and transformation. Like, salute yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Nobody is perfect. Everyone on this call, including me, has made some mistakes in the past, but we don't stop there. So can we do this together? Give yourself a hug and just call yourself by your given name and tell yourself, you may have made those mistakes, but it's not the end of the road. From now onwards is growth and transformation. And that's just it. And in a moment, I'm going to invite you to take a deep inhale. And when you inhale, I want you to imagine yourself inhaling possibilities. And as you exhale, imagine yourself literally exhaling all of those errors and all of those mental blocks. Silly looking, but it works. So inhale all of the possibilities that the new you after today would be. And as you exhale, let off all the errors. Take it one more time. And as you come back to the room with me, I will want you in the next 3 minutes. We need to do this very fast to respond to this poll. So on your screen, you're seeing one question. What is your biggest challenge in premarital counseling that if you can address it now, will improve your effectiveness? Please go and respond to that poll. Please, we're about 100 in the room, so I need 60% of the people to respond, so about 60 something. Please do me that favor. It's going to be on for only 2 to 3 minutes because we need to run to the next item. If you don't know where to see the poll, at the lower tab, you're going to see the poll. Please just click on it and respond. The responses are coming really slow. Please know that this is anonymous. Your name is not showing. We just want to know, for those either already in the field or aspiring, what's your biggest challenge? Because one thing that we are very intentional with doing at the Start Your Marriage Right Academy is coming out with documents, processes, pamphlets and all of that that address these issues. And if it's something that will call for training, we'll get you to train. Or if it's something we think you can just work on yourself, we will also share resources with you from time to time. So if you registered for this webinar, you're already in our database. So you'll be getting emails from us. And whenever we are tackling any of these challenges from our ongoing poll, we will also reach out to you to assess the resources that can guide you. So please, the response is so slow. We've done only 20%, and I want to shut it down in the next 1 minute so that we can move on. We don't want to keep you beyond the advertised time. So I need you to be really fast on it. Oh, we're going fast. Thank you. We are 33%. Can you give us a 50% before I shut it down? What is your biggest challenge in premarital counseling that, if you can address it, will improve your effectiveness? Yes, please keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. Go ahead and answer the poll. Thank you. I'm shutting off soon. I want to hit 50% before I shut off. We're at 43. If you've not responded, what's keeping you? Is it that you're not seeing it? Okay. All right. As promised, I said I'll put it down at 50% and we have hit 50. So I'm going to stop now. If you want to just put yours in, please put yours in, because when I count to 10, I will end the poll and we'll continue the conversation. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we ended the poll at 54% contribution. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate us all for this. And we will get back to you as we progress. Okay. So very next thing I want us to look at, we've looked at the mistakes, we've looked at the mindset gaps. Let me take you through the essential skills you need. So that because we want to be solution focused. It's not just pointing you to the ugly side of it. These are essential skills you need, and we will wrap up today's conversation with them. Then tomorrow we'll begin to answer those questions. What is this blueprint? If I want to build a thriving premarital coaching process, what do I need to look at, and what are the parts of this blueprint? My team and I tomorrow will break it down for you. You don't want to miss tomorrow, honestly. Same time, 7 p.m. West African time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. You don't want to miss tomorrow's conversation. So, essential skills for an effective premarital coach. First of all, the coach must know how to create a safe space for clients so that they can trust the process and be vulnerable. There is a science of making people feel relaxed and literally tell you things they haven't told anybody before. And it's not because you're using juju on them, it's because you understand the art of safe space creation. How does a person come to you and you make them feel welcome even when they did not want to show up at the session? It starts with creating rapport, but it doesn't end with just rapport. It's also you knowing the things to say. I'm basically being trained to observe and decode physiological signs. Because what a person is saying is just it. That's why when I'm doing my sessions with my client, I insist that they turn on their videos. Yes, you can get some cue from how they are being and doing with the deflection in their voices, but you can get so much more by seeing their body language. So even you creating a safe space for your clients starts with your body language training. It starts from the choice of words that you speak. It starts from the tone of your voice. I've read some comments tonight where people will say, oh, your voice is so soothing, your voice is so calm, your voice is so relaxing. It's intentional because I need to make you feel relaxed to listen to me. I'm not here to brandish you as the worst premarital coach. That's not my intention. My intention is to make you see that growth is possible. So I don't want to see how after we looked at the ugly side, I quickly did an intervention with you to switch you over to possibility so that your mind is not fixated on all of the mistakes you have made. It's an act that is learned. Right? So how do you also do that in your, and so maybe somebody should help me so that I want us to practicalize what we're doing. When we finish talking about all the bad things, and I did that intervention of you hugging yourself, and then I used my words to make you feel okay that there was growth possible. How did that make you feel? Somebody should quickly, before I go on, how did that make you feel when we did that intervention after we looked at the not so good part before moving on? If I'm not getting somebody to speak, we're going to move on in a bit, but I just wanted you to notice how we practiced it. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. So you see, you need those skills. That's how you create safe space. But before I go ahead, I'm being notified that there's somebody on standby. Oladoyi, are you there? Doyi, can you hear me?
Very well, coach.
Okay, so I'm going to just bring you on the spotlight. Where is Doyin? Okay, so please, for a moment, Doyin wants to share with us. Doyin, how? Let me maybe I'll put you on the spot tomorrow. Small. So talk to us in very few words. What is Start Your Marriage Right Academy and precisely the ultimate premarital coach training do for you?
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Coach Dima. Thank you for this privilege. I think about this time last year, I was also seated and attending this class that the participants are attending, right? And I was not even feeling well. But something kept pushing me to stay on the call. And I stayed. I came for the first, second, and first and second day. I think it was 3 days that we had. And yes, I stayed. So, okay, for the record, my name is Oladoyin Shomi, and um, I lead the community called Godly Connects, where we prepare eligible Christian singles who wants to get married, right? And we help them start up their conversation, right, with a training. So what Kodima and our team did for me was, at the time I came, I really was looking for how to come out because I got instruction from God to come out to the public. Before then, I'd been a matchmaker in the last 13 years. But this time around, I had instruction to come out to the public, and I didn't know how I was going to come out to the public. And so, in my search and quest of how to come out, I just stumbled on one of the adverts, like I'm sure that many of you also stumbled on. And I thought that this was it. And actually, it really helped me. And so, what I used to do as a matchmaker before was just basically boy meets girl, right? And in 2 weeks, I introduced them to themselves or less, and they start to talk. But right now, what we do in Godly Connect is that once we first help you identify the kind of person that you have told us you want to be with, and we help you start up your conversation, your friendship with a training, right? And so we know the importance of training even before suggesting people to you. So I wouldn't just see somebody and just say, okay, you and you know. we take you through a 6 weeks training. And so that's in nutshell is what Coach Dimas and our teaching and our training, the 3 months training I came for helped me to have a structure and also helped me to see the importance of training these people, right? Even before they start off their conversation, which we hope will lead to dating and eventually marriage, right? When they are ready to get married, right, then we then organize a proper premarital counseling for them. But in the 6 weeks, we help them to understand themselves first, right? And to see if they really want to even start off this conversation with this person. At the end of the 6 weeks, some people even come to us and say, no, they don't want to. So coming to class, 3 months training with Kodima helped me to understand the importance of training these people first, even before introducing them to themselves. So thank you once again, Coach Dima, for the opportunity to train with you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Oladoyin, for that, and it's great. So I just want, I'm putting you on the spot for a minute, so just indulge me, because when you were coming on, I was just about talking that one of the things that makes an effective coach is being able to build a safe space where the people feel okay and vulnerable and, that they are seen. So talk to me. I know that in the training you took, there was a module where we talked about embodying the coaching experience. Prior to your encounter with Start Your Marriage Right Academy, what did that module that taught you how to embody a coaching experience do for you in the work that you do?
All right. So that module, like I took in everything that I did that we talked. It was like I was in a school and I was ready to give in my best. Right. It helped me to build structure. Right. It helped me to put structure in place. And even people that come to us, they say to us that this is the first time they are seeing a matchmaking. I don't really like to call it match, I call it match suggestion, because by the time you are done, it's not compulsory. You just find that it's either you don't want to proceed, you don't even want to start at all. So it helped me to put proper structure in place, right, for people that are coming to see themselves, to understand themselves, to understand the process they are about to get into, right? Because again, we discover that in the premarital counseling that people actually do, a lot of decisions are already made. And so those counseling times are just like a formality. But what we do for them, we help them to understand the things that they're about to even start. And so they know I don't want to start at all, or I want to start. So like, for instance, people that come, they just start off the conversation, then they start dating, then they go for another premarital counseling. So it taught me structure, right? It taught me structure. So that was one of the things that it taught me. We put things, we don't put the cart before the horse, right? So it taught me proper structure.
Thank you so much, Oladoyin, for that, and God bless you, work you continue to do, and the impact you're creating for humanity. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you very much, Kudima. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
All right, people. So we're talking about, that was one of our alumni sharing experience with the academy and all what we're discussing in this 2 weeks. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Also, you need to be able to understand the science of motivation. I keep talking about this. How do you make your clients commit to the process willingly? How do you make your clients commit to the process willingly? When it comes to the science of motivation, studies have shown that there are 4 critical elements. So when it comes to the science of motivation, 4 critical elements are very important there. And you can just remember it with the word ramp. But like I keep telling you, it's not about knowing the science, it's about applying it. If you're working, and more importantly, this science of motivation becomes very, very critical because you're working with Gen Zs and millennials. Your process has to be relatable, number one. You use case studies, elements in your training that are relatable. And then you also come in your relatedness with them, where you're able to speak the kind of language they understand and be as a human being, not just as an authority over them. Secondly, it's autonomy. Look, you're not going to get the best out of your clients if you keep telling them what to do. No matter the process that you do with them, embed in them a system that helps them to make choices. Autonomy is at the root of motivation. Most importantly, because even of the people you are working with, they don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told how to act. You have to have a process in each of the steps you are taking them through where they are able to make decisions for themselves, which is why in this blueprints that I will be introducing to you tomorrow, there are deliberate coaching questions after each module that you're taking your premarital clients through, and also action steps that they can choose to do. Because when people feel like they are making choices for themselves, they are more inclined to follow through than when they feel they are doing the things that they have been told to do. So if autonomy is not systemized in your premarital, you will struggle with the participants doing the exercises you have for them. You will struggle with them even carrying it on into their marriage. The third thing is mastery. Everybody likes to feel like I'm making progress. And so even when you're doing your premarital, allow them come to some learnings themselves. You don't tell them everything. Somebody was asking me, oh, I see you have assessment for this. You don't have assessment for that. I said we have reflection questions. The reflective questions is to help them come to the learning themselves so that they feel like, oh, I discovered something. Mastery is a critical element of motivation. So in your premarital process, what system do you have that ensures little traces of improvement? How do they even measure that they are making improvement that shows them that their competence is growing? It's critical for motivation. Then the fourth thing is purpose. Purpose is a critical element for motivation, which is why, please know this and know it very well. People come to you for premarital. Don't assume since, oh, I put out for premarital, or they are in the premarital unit in my faith-based organization, so I already know their goal. If you're here, you offer premarital coaching, and you don't have a system that helps your client create their intentions why they are doing premarital with you, in the first week of their engagement with you, you have lost a big motivation factor. Purpose is an element of motivation. Lightly, we say when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable, right? Don't just quote it. Systemize it. Whether they are coming to church, they are coming to your faith base, they are coming to your professional practice, from the very first onset, what do you want to take out of this? And in the framework that we have created, we lighten it up with positive psychology, where they are able to go through a visualization exercise and foresee the life they want to create or they imagine to create together. They imagine to create together, so that even whilst they're going through the journey with you, whether it's a 9 weeks premarital, whether it's a 6 weeks premarital, whether it's a 12 weeks premarital, they are looking up to that big picture. And even when the process feels tough, that big picture that you have embedded in their minds through your intentional practice keeps them going. So look at your practice right now. Do you have anything in place for relatedness, for autonomy, for mastery, for purpose? If you don't have, I will show you a system that has embedded that in it, that you can run with without having to, reinvent the wheel. The third thing quickly is, oh, you can't do coaching, whatever form of coaching you want to do, if you don't know how to ask questions. So one of the skills you must quickly learn is how to ask powerful, curious, open-ended questions, not questions you already know the answer to. And even your blueprint for premarital should have these curious questions already embedded in it. Because some of you will say, oh, I don't have the skill to ask open-ended questions. I wasn't trained in how to create questions. Oh, I don't have a background in coaching. Don't worry. This trained, certified, practicing coach and my team have already created a blueprint for you with appropriate open-ended questions for each module that you can adapt and then recreate in how it suits your practice. Of course, you also need the skill to create a framework that promotes self-reflective learning in your clients. I talked about it a bit when I was talking about the elements of motivation. Don't be that premarital coach that tells your clients what to do all the time. Also, I know there's the rave about psychometric tests. Oh, if you give them this test, it will just reveal themselves to them. It's important and it is useful. However, it is important that you don't use, in all the process of your premarital, have psychometric tests that gives them the answer. In some of your encounters with them, you give them reflective questions so that they get the answer themselves. That is a robust learning. Some assisted with your psychometric test, some self-reflective, makes a more comprehensive approach. And being able to create self-reflective learning is also a skill. So how do you structure your premarital such that the people are learning and then you are guiding their learning by giving them intentionally crafted reflective questions and coaching questions that helps them to meet the learning in their own way. And they will not, and then of course you have to have a system of eliciting those learning such that you are able to take feed forward from them. So when you're asking, so what is jumping up at you now? Oh, what's resonating with you? And you notice the person's facial change and you're like, I can see you raised your eye. What's happening right now with you? What shifts are you making? But if you don't even know how to read their face, how do you know when learning is happening? And they begin to tell you, oh, this just reminded me of something that happened, blah, blah, blah. Oh, now I know why I do this. Oh, and that is you. And the joy and the literal delight in their eyes when people come to a broadened awareness about themselves, it's unimaginable. And that is one of the things why they will say, oh, you need to speak with Dima. I don't know how she does it, but she just gets it. Oh, the people that have been trained by this academy, if you work with them, because they have been taught how to promote self-reflective learning in their clients. Of course, that's the blueprint we're talking about. When it comes to premarital coaching, just like what Oladoyin told you, in our work with match finding, match connecting, she came to realize that it's not about just asking them, oh, do you like somebody tall? Do you like him short? Is he has to be a Christian? Does he have to be working here? No. She came to realize that you need to help these people, first of all, find themselves so that they are even able to assess the choices they say they are making in a potential partner. And that is where it starts from: personal harmony. Then you move on to mutual harmony and family effectiveness. That is where we'll come to an end, but I just want to briefly introduce the blueprint that we'll be talking about tomorrow so that we wrap up today. So what is that blueprint that has captured all of this? It is what we refer to as the flourishing marriage blueprint. To say that based on our work at the academy, we came to realize that when it comes to what it takes for marriage to work, it is either the people are just knowing this, they are refining it, they are reassessing it, they are reevaluating it. These three essential pillars is at the very foundation of a flourishing marriage. And then when we take people through premarital, we ensure that these three pillars are rooted in. And pillar one is the flourishing you, where we beam the searchlight on the person. Tomorrow, we will be sharing with you the tools and the things you'll be checking in an individual first. Then when we move the individual to flourishing us. How do you assess if those two can work together? There are certain things you should be checking out for, certain skills you should be teaching them. And thirdly, even if these two people are whole, they can work together. How do they make their marriage effective? And we'll begin to talk about the methodology and the systems. So that's what we will introduce to you tomorrow, all of the assessments and the things in each of those pillars. Because guess what? A good person can end up with a bad person. Let me reframe that. A good person can end up with an incompatible person. Two good people may be good, but they are not good together. How do you check how good together they are? And when people say that, oh, in the first few years, first 1 to 3 years of marriage is always a struggle. I'm being honest with you, and God is my witness. I didn't have any first few years of struggle because there were things my husband and I, thankfully, from our own self-education, from our own premarital preparation, and from the way we prepared for marriage, which I'll share with you tomorrow, we began to learn certain things and put a foundation in our marriage from the very start. And we did not have the typical first few years of marriage, right? So how do you help a couple do that? We'll be talking about that tomorrow. And I think this is a good time to end so that we don't keep you beyond the time. If this has been an insightful experience for you, please come to the chat room and say yes. If this has been insightful. Marcel is asking, how do you reach Oladoyin? Don't worry, we will share. Please be here tomorrow because I want to wrap up now. And oh, I forgot that you shared that personally. I will share her details for you to meet with our organization in case you are interested in matchmaking. Okay. All right, I see it has been insightful. And are you curious about this blueprint, the 3 pillars, and how you can help your intending couple set it up right from premarital? If you are curious, then keep a date with us tomorrow, where we'll be exposing you to this blueprint and giving you the nitty-gritty of each of the pillars. It's been an engaging time for me. I enjoyed doing this with you. You have been very engaging. I never felt alone tonight because when I asked you for your insights, you give it in. So I could just keep talking, but Kafilat, please wrap up in the next 1 minute and tell them what they will be expecting tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach Dimma, for that amazing presentation. And thank you all for staying up till this moment. It has been very impactful and insightful. But I tell you, this is just a tip of the iceberg. Tomorrow, the ultimate blueprint will be revealed to you. And you can't afford to miss it. Imagine what would happen tomorrow when you are going to uncover the real blueprint. So, I will encourage you. Thanks for staying up till this moment, like I said before. I will encourage you to prepare yourself for tomorrow. clear your calendar. Make sure you are present. Make sure you come around and uncover the blueprint we are talking about. You need to be here tomorrow. And I don't know if I will be here tomorrow as a moderator, but let me just tell you something. Come tomorrow to experience this blueprint and make sure after tomorrow, whatever it will take you to enroll for this course and become trained and certified in Start Your Marriage Right Academy, make sure you do it. Whatever is going to cost you, your time, your focus, your financial commitment, whatever is going to cost you, make sure you strive to enroll for this course. Make it a gift you give to yourself for 2025. Or maybe one of the gifts. I don't know if you have given yourself other gifts so far, but make it one investment you make into your career, into your practice, that will give you that 360-degree turn and make you to approach your practice with confidence, with precision, with excellence. Passion is good, but it's not enough. You need this level of expertise for you to stand out tall in your practice. Thank you for staying till this moment. See you tomorrow, and I see you in class, ultimately, in the Start Your Marriage Right Academy. So, on this note, we come to the end of this presentation. God bless you. See you tomorrow.